Hello, everyone. I'm gonna get it right this time. Episode 13 of the rallying cry. That's right in it, boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, Jack, you've got mute. Oh no, technical difficulties. We'll just spitball in while Jack sorts himself out. How are you anyway? You all right?
Yeah. All good. All good.
Good. I can say it's actually been 2 weeks, I believe, since we recorded the last one.
It has been 2 weeks.
Are you happy about that?
I am.
Does that not mess about your psyche anymore?
It means it's good. We're nice. We're on schedule. It's what it's meant to be.
Oh dear. Yeah. Not the 57 weeks. Jack, are you back with us, love?
Don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Excellent.
Hey, what did you press?
You made us drop out. It's your fault.
No, it's not my fault. It's the memory that because we record that many, every 5 years.
What I was trying to say was that we missed a trick and we should have been talking about Skaven today.
Skaven? Ugh.
Episode 13. Look for Skaven.
Yeah.
I assume you've done that.
We're all not.
To let us see.
We're not all about the lore. We're all about whack combos and winning events with Cathay.
Skaven lore, I'm all for. Love me some Skaven.
I do like Skaven lore, to be fair. It's a shame they're not a real army.
I know. It is.
They're not even a real race.
They are a real race. I'm not going to say where I think they're from because we'll probably offend most of the people there. So we'll keep that one to ourselves. You all right then, Jack?
Yeah, I'm all good. All good.
Good. Right. Shall we crack on with the news? And boom, the news. Yeah, this is lovely.
Yeah, a new, commemorative miniature for the Games Workshop.
Old sort of Archaon vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Go on.
What was the guy with the axes who was like Archaon's second in command? Krull or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was Harry the Hammer, wasn't it? It was a character one. There was Slambo, was it? Slambo.
Yeah, he's a twin axes.
With a twin axe guy, yeah.
I've got all the old. I think I've got every Chaos character model there ever was in my.
There is tons of them as well, isn't there? Because obviously for every different god as well. There's like some of the older models with like the fat Nurgle guy and the guy that looks like he should be in Emperor's Children for Slanesh. I don't think is there a Tzeentch one? Oh, there's a guy on the disc, isn't there? Is it the Fate Weaver?
You've got the guy who has the Chaos Spawn as well.
Fael.
Harry the Hammer's
Fael the Faithless, something like that.
Sail the Faithless, yeah. With his little sidekick, Nightmare. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really broken in AOS for a little bit, and he was in everyone's Chaos armies. And then they nerfed him, and you never saw him again.
They do that.
He's a nice model as well.
Yeah.
He was.
They do that
he had like a TMP.
Mm.
You just move an entire unit anywhere on the board.
Yeah, which is massively more overpowered in AOS than it is in Old World, I think. But hey, we don't play that game. I think this guy is just so classic in it, and the thing with it as well, it can be used for any three of the types. You've got obviously the Chaos Lord, the Exalted Champion, and the Inspiring Champion. So you could actually use it. It's got 3 uses as well. So it's not like you're just building him for a Chaos Lord. You can build him for other things as well, which is great. So multi-use. I know obviously it's an AOS model, but for multi-use, it's great. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'm going to pick him up anyway because it's.
He's got a tactical rock.
Say again.
You can pick him up because he's got a tactical rock, right?
Absolutely, tactical rock, and it looks like he'd fit on the square base nicely. Because all my Warriors of Chaos are all the AOS models, aren't they? So
especially on 30mm bases, he should fit nicely.
Yeah, because that'll be a 32 round, so it's just that cape that will overhang.
Yeah,
but a little bit of careful positioning and no problem.
Do you know what
I prefer the helmeted version.
If you took the tactical rock out, it'd look amazing on a chariot.
Yeah, That'd work.
You could prop him on one of like the back of the wheel arches or something like that, or I don't know, just put something underneath him, a barrel or something, you know, the usual stuff. Or you could have a tactical rock on a chariot. Who knows? But no,
paint it wood colored.
Yeah, tactical misshapen log.
The model is cool, but
it's really cool.
Use the head on the right. I think I'm not too overly fond of the
helmeted one or the
the helmeted one.
Yeah, I prefer the helmeted one definitely. The problem is though, I think he looked too generic. The helmet, it needed some. What I'd probably be tempted to do, so I would actually use the helmet and then cut the ponytail off the lad and stick it on the helmet.
Yeah, I could see that working.
Yeah, just because we all know, like, all heroes have plumes on the helmet. They either have no helmet or they have a helmet with a plume. That's usually how it works, right?
Or you can magnetize the head, and depending on whether he's the Lord level, the Exalted level, or the Aspiring level, you could have a youngish, unscarred face and building up to like a really ragged, shredded face. Perfect for a narrative campaign weekend.
Well, some of the Chaos Warrior heads will work as well from the normal AOS kit, and possibly some of the Dark Oath ones. I think, Liam, your best place to actually use Dark Oath, aren't you?
The Dark Oath are kind of weird positioning though, because like we'll be cut off here, down, over and across, like shoulder length and stuff.
Yeah,
you can do it, but
the balls.
You're gonna,
to be fair, we don't know how this guy's head's fastened on.
No.
And then I guess it's a circle and a plop like a Space Marine.
You'd think so, but you never know.
Yeah. I think you could have had a cooler shield.
It's a cool shield. It's got a hand, a skull. Like, what more do you need? Big chain.
Like, I don't
know.
All
the fashion accessories. Away from Chaos Warriors into the other news, that these little chaps are now available for pre-order and sold out.
Stunted.
They sold out already?
Yeah, they sold out by mid-afternoon on a Saturday, I want to say.
I think a lot of pre-allocations sold out as well. No, Patreon, obviously, where we run our game events and club. I think they did all their pre-order stuff, because usually they give people a bit of a heads up that they're coming up for pre-order. They sold their pre-allocation as well. But I don't know. I'm not privy to how many they get, but to sell out pretty much straight away is obviously a good thing. Whether people are buying them for AOS or whether they're buying them for All World, that remains to be seen.
I think you'd be mad to buy this box for Old World, just because of that giant ball being a third of the cost. Yeah,
I'm going to say it's expensive as well, and you're going to need
probably 3 unit lower.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really use it as. Maybe the Iron Demon.
Even then, it's not the right size or shape.
I think the Iron Demon, the thing in the top left looks better for the Iron Demon. I think maybe like in older editions it could have been the Cathay Destroyer, but
I think does that mortar thing not turn into a cannon as well?
Yeah, it's a Dreadquake mortar or the rocket battery, isn't it?
Battery, yeah. So that's what that could be. I think I'd be tempted to use the thing as the Iron Demon. It looks more of an Iron Demon than the actual Iron Demon.
Yeah.
The Iron Demon is it's a pump wagon, isn't it? A really large pump wagon.
Whoa.
Triggering
all the Chaos Dwarf players.
But no, I'm really pissed off with you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see these on the tabletop anyway. Won't be mine. I've got my old Forge World Chaos Dwarves.
Oh no! Do you know what? That's probably one of the regrets. It was like the only one I never owned in Fantasy, purely for the fact it was from Forge World and I couldn't afford it when I was really 21-year-old. So, I'd love to buy. And I think I'd like. That is one of the only factions I'd probably really invest my time into being a legacy faction, just because they're cool.
Because they're good. Yeah. Okay, then.
And are they actually good? I don't know. No one plays them in our club. Well, that's a lie, they do, but not the way I'd play. I just want loads and loads of bodies.
I think you could do like loads of Night Goblins. There's a banner which gives everything.
Just loads of dwarves.
Not Night Goblins.
Dwarves.
Oh, dwarves. You don't get many. You can't afford loads and loads of dwarves at 2,000 points. You can get about 25 dwarves.
I think I had when I was writing this when this got revealed, I ended up with like one unit of 16 or 18 dwarves with melee weapons and a unit of 12 to 14 with ranged weapons. Like, this is my entire army now.
Yeah, but then you get like characters and arguably the most broken game spell in the game. The Hashut one where
yeah, but it's tricky now because the signature spells didn't drop down in casting because it's a legacy army. It's quite difficult to get off now unless you really invest in like the jet and you get lucky on your dark forged weapon. Then it's pretty tricky to get off. So I think now you just rely on 200 hobgoblins, the banner which gives them a bit of a ward save if they're nearby to you. Make them forget the levy rule, and just get your go ham.
Yeah,
just play orcs and goblins.
Might as well.
Yeah, they are cool. I mean, I know I wasn't a massive fan of them, but I think it's when you see them painted up and like they are there, they do look cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them in different color schemes as well. See how different people put their feel on them because I think they're just a bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they've got like a dark elf kind of.
Yeah, a bit dark elfy, a bit. They feel like they could be like Lord of the Rings sort of. Yeah, the guys with the elephants.
Oh, the Haradrim.
Haradrim, yeah, so that sort of color scheme, aren't
they? Yeah, I mean they look cool, but yeah, I think if in terms of using it as old world, I think you're probably going to be dropping maybe 3 of these boxes.
Okay, I don't know why that's happened. I did not press the button.
Fair enough.
That's enough.
Literally, my hands were away from the keyboard and everything.
You're brave.
We've talked about Chaos Dwarfs for too long.
Yeah, clearly the stream just got had enough of Chaos Dwarfs. Well, shall we move on then? On that note, let's move over to hobby.
Yeah, so I finished my second lantern that I was working through last week. Or 2 weeks ago.
This is where everybody stops watching and listening now, Liam.
They're in for a fun episode, aren't they? Yeah. So, second lantern, all sorted. Managed to paint all the little trinkets on his table. Quite enjoyed doing all that. Something a little different. And that's kind of it, really. My hobby-wise, I picked up some Empire bits and bobs to make towards the Jade Fleet army with me. Got a couple of old Dogs of War characters in there, which are like here and here. But based on sizing, I think the commander isn't going to be used. But I think I'll probably get away with a wizard.
These bigger. These are tactical rock.
I was trying to figure out if I take them off the bases, make the bases a little taller, that kind of thing. But he just isn't big enough remotely.
Yeah, the horses are a different scale.
Yeah, could you just put the actual character on one of the Cathay horses, or do the
maybe? It's kind of like the problem is that the Cathay horses are probably about the same size as his horse, but all the Cathay armor and robes is on top of the horse, whereas it's kind of in his horse.
Built in the horse,
yeah. So it's kind of like it's not actually massively scale, and her horse legs are actually thicker than the Cathay and horse legs. It just doesn't look it remotely in that photo. But yeah, so a few options. I'm going to run a big book of Jade Lancers, I think, at some point. So really play around with it a little bit. And those Empire archers, some of them are absolutely outstanding models that have really stood the test of time.
They're my
some of the favourite kit. Goddamn awful.
Yeah. They are actually my favourite kit, the Empire archers.
I'm going to have to end up getting another box just so I can get 10 to 12 that I actually like the pose of.
What's the model on the front left?
He is the Empire, one of the new Empire wizards.
Oh, one of those new wizards.
Yeah. Him with his little frog friend.
Well, he was the old Amber wizard, wasn't he? Whatever Amber is now is.
Beast. Or I don't think we don't have colleges now, do they? But yeah, Amber, Beast, Hedge, that kind of feeling wizard. So yeah, just to try out some different things.
Is he not the elementalism one now?
Maybe.
Which ones have I got? I've got the battle mage.
Yeah, he must be elemental because his battle and
necromancy, isn't it?
I've got the battle one and the necromancy one.
Yeah. Elemental isn't.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I also played a game against my own Water of the Sea. Lent them to someone who's getting back into Warhammer for a little bit, and took a nice themey Cathay list.
He's getting back into Warhammer. Here's my Cathay.
So before you mock me, it is a single lantern with no character, basic lantern, a block of Jade Lancers, one cannon. So it's about as toned, and the wood elves there are the Empire Archers. So it's about as toned down.
You soon run out of other units to bring once you've launched yourself to that, unless you just take you buy another battalion box of infantry.
Yeah, I've already got 2 of those. I don't really want to get more infantry. But basically, I've been playing the house for a little bit. I've not overly enjoyed those in the couple of demo games I've done. So I kind of want to play either my wolves or my Cathay. And if it's using my wolves, I'm stuck using my Cathay. But it was quite a tight game. I won by about 300 points, but that was all on scenario. Like actually in points of kills, it was pretty equal. So yeah, but I've not enjoyed using them.
Yeah.
And I was going to take Trollhorde, but he was playing with a Tzeentch themed Wolves of the Sea list. So when everything shoots you with magic missiles or flaming attacks in combat, it seemed like an exercise in futility.
You might lose the game, Liam.
Well, I'd like to roll dice. And when you don't get to use your army special rules at all, it's less fun.
That's true.
That's how every opponent that's played you the last few weeks failed. I don't get to use my army. Not my army rules.
Let's move on away from me into somebody else. What is this, Dan? This is not Warhammer.
This is me. This is just some of that piqued my interest. Weirdly, I'd been watching Hornblower. If you ever watched that ratio Hornblower, so it's like it's basically a sharp, but on a pirate ship. Well, not on a pirate ship, on a British Navy ship. And I thought, oh, I fancy a bit of that. And then I'd seen that. I think this is Warlord Games. So I'd seen that they'd done this. They had there was one, I can't remember what it was called, but one of the clubs I used to go to before I started doing my own club and stuff. They used to play a lot of naval battle stuff, and it always intrigued me and looked cool because I do like this era of time and the pirates and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, I'll get it. It was, I think it was like £49 for the starter set. And you get three biggish or 3 frigates and then 6 of the little brigs. So it's enough to play a full game, and then obviously get everything in it which you'd expect. You even get little packets of cotton to symbolise your guns firing and stuff on fire and stuff. So all up for that. So I decided to buy it. I mean, it's one of those games where, because it's literally this. I probably won't buy anything more because there's not much else left to buy in terms of apart from like adding obviously the big major ships and stuff like that.
Man of Wars and stuff.
Yeah, like I don't like HMS Victory and is it the USS Constitution, the American one, and stuff like this. So the thing is, this is just a bit after the golden age of piracy, but you can still use pirates. So I will be painting some as pirates. Well, they're called privateers, sorry. But you get little pirate flags in the set. And then I painted up. It was strangely quite easy, saying how small it is, but then you don't need all the edge highlighting details and stuff like that on it. Just like the smallest bit of edge highlighting. Now, can you see the little bit of rope on the rigging?
Mm.
That was painful. that took me about an hour to rig this ship up. And now I've done one, I've got to do them all. So I've got another 9 ships to do, I think. Sorry, another 8 ships to do. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. But the actual painting itself's fine. The ships go together real. They're all plastic as well, which is good.
Like I say, they just look like grey plastic when they.
Yeah, great plastic.
Yeah.
I've sprayed them all, but
And do you have to build them, or do they come pre-built?
No, you have to build them. So it's 2 halves of ship, a deck, then masts. That's it. And then obviously the front.
It's a string.
Oh, and then the anchors need to go on as well. So there's about 8 pieces to a ship.
It's not too bad then.
Not a lot, no. I mean, these are the instructions. So that's how simple they are. Obviously the rigging is probably the hardest part. Depends how, I know you joked about this, Liam, but it depends how history buff you are, I guess, which way you put the rigging on. I just rigged it up so it looks like it's got something on it. Somebody will tell me it's probably rigged up wrong, but hey, I'm not an history expert. And then if you notice, can you notice another thing on that ship? What triggered me to actually take it off?
Well, if you're taking it off, we probably can't notice it.
No, it's on there now. I've taken it off and redone it.
Is that English flag that's not on a roundabout?
Yeah, so the flag's it. So the sails are going one way, the flag's going the other.
Yeah.
So I had to take it off, and I've redone it, and now it's on the right way.
Well, yeah, but I guess if
No, you can't.
The wind's blowing that way, but
wind blows that way, then your flag at the top can't go that way.
Yeah, but if your ship's traveling that way, then will the momentum of the ship not pull it? I don't
Jack,
know.
do you know how ships work?
Yeah, they get blown, but then when your ship's moving, it's going to cause some drag going the other way as well.
No, well, the wind's still going to be quicker than the ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I took that off, but yeah, that took probably, I'd say, about 40 minutes to paint, and it took me about 2 hours to do all the sails and stuff because there's no real connection points. It's just literally glue them to the masts, and they're cardboard as well, so you have to use a specific glue. And then,
what's this, Dan? Are you playing a Cathay game?
Cathay, yeah, we
I
played.
bet your opponent really enjoyed that.
No, it didn't, but it were Al, so it's fine. So I actually played a Jade Fleet list.
That's a big block of Lancers.
Yeah, well, the Sentinel's on there, but I painted that, but I'm sure that'll come in a minute. Yeah, so we tried out the Jade Fleet. This was actually just to try out the doubles mission for the pack that we're using. It's obviously not a doubles army because we just used 2,500 points each, just to see how the missions worked, and they work fine. I played Al with his Beastmen. I think we give up after turn 2. Turn 2, maybe even 3. But basically, my lantern just went absolutely nuts. So all that left flank of Al's disappeared, apart from the spawn, which got killed by Miao Ying in the last turn 2, just by bombing them and rings of jet in them. And I actually used the Sentinel in that particular game as bait because he charged everything at it, and it just toppled over because it was the what's the MR one? The Jade one?
Obsidian.
Yeah, I tried an Obsidian one out. Again, the nowhere near like thingy list. So this is one where I used 15 Jade Lancers upgraded to be the Celestial Guard. They killed 2 Dragon Ogres on the charge, which I was quite happy about, and they got the reroll ones because of the captain hiding behind Ram there. And then they died horribly to lots of great weapon attacks. So it's probably not the best unit to run the map, but I can't help deployment.
You can help deployment.
Yeah.
Literally, you're in total control of deployment.
When I dropped them first, I was like, right, I'll go here because it's like a bit of a narrow gap. I can get through there. And then he put all the Dragon Ogres on one side. I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
They're fast enough to just go around the other side, probably.
No, not when there's 8 Dragon Ogres, a Dragon Ogre shag off, and a randomly moving Chaos Spawn.
You could literally be about here.
Yeah.
After 1 turn of movement, if you wanted to.
Maybe I wasn't expecting the lantern to blow all of those models up. Was that so? I thought, a Sentinel and a Lantern probably shouldn't be able to kill 8 Dragon Ogres, a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. The Sentinel didn't. The Lantern did. And that only had a strategist in it as well, so that's the worst thing. And it didn't have a ward save.
It doesn't need one.
If nothing can get near it.
It hit. Yeah. Do you know what? What I do really like about the Cathay army is actually the infantry. Like a big block of Jade Warriors just doesn't move.
Yeah.
Especially now you've got a bit more combat with the reroll ones to hit.
Yeah, and you can get them to quite a high weapon skill, can't you? Like weapon skill 5.
Yeah. So for the first 2 turns, or the base of the game, they were weapon skill 6.
Yeah.
Obviously, they get +1 from being Celestial Guard, and then they get +1 from the wins as well. So yeah, this I mean, even the Doom Bull in the big block was hitting me on 4s.
Yeah.
So it's really really good. Miao Ying, I'm a bit meh with her. She didn't do a lot apart from kill the spawn.
Where is she in that photo?
She's just behind the.
Oh yeah, Warriors.
Next to the Shigengs, obviously get the +1 and stuff. But the way I'll build the big blocks, he just puts ultimate defense on them. So they've got MR, they've got like minuses to hit. Yeah, you're also like minus to hit 2 to hit the Doom Bull, because I think he's got the bedazzling helm.
That's the way.
Yeah, so it's like ugh. So in the end, I managed to chop some of it down just on a pure fact that I was weapon skill 6, and the Shigengan got in round the side and the rear, and a couple of Jade Rings as well. So I had 4 Jade Rings in this list. I'd like to not swear, but it's absolute BS. The fact that you can take that many, it's so stupid. But yeah, we called it either top of turn 2 or bottom of turn 2. I can't remember.
But at least you took a list to test the scenario out and got plenty of turns in to do that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to be fair, I lost the Sentinel, I lost all the Jade Lancers, and I lost a unit of Archers.
So a lot happened in 2 turns.
So, well, I lost half of my army nearly, just in those 3 units.
And killed all his army.
Pretty much.
So you're just gonna. So is the scenario gonna be 3 turn limp?
Yeah, he's terrible. The Sentinel is just so rubbish. He's lovely to paint, but he's rubbish compared to the rest of the army. I think that's the problem.
Sometimes he wins your games, though.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, is he rubbish? How many other armies would he just slot into?
So he's a Granite's 265.
I mean, he didn't get.
I think realistically,
you compare him to a Gorgon.
Yeah, but it's like comparing something to an Empire State Troop. Like, you're starting off with something bad, then you're going to win any comparison. Like, you'd probably go. Is he worth 25% more than a Giant? No. Probably. But is he worth 100 points more than a Gigantic Chaos Spawn? No.
Absolutely not. No. The one thing
I don't think his spawn can ever be used as a comparison, because he's just stupidly priced.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that really annoys me with him, why the hell has he only got a 5-up save? He's literally made out of stone. A 3-up had been fine. Sorry, even a 4-up had just been fine base.
4-up Granite to 3 is fine. I'm with that as well.
At least you're paying the points for it.
Yeah.
Whereas this way, he's just like I said, I didn't even get a save against the Dragon Ogre, and they killed him in 1 round of combat.
Yeah.
And I think I did 3 wounds to one of the Dragon Ogres.
You have to hit them first.
Yeah. Well, it did. It did 3 damage.
You should do more than that. Yeah, it's only 3 attacks, isn't it? So.
I mean, you think there were War Sphinx, which is again supposed to be made of basically rock hard stone, and that's only 5-up armor.
It's made of sandstone. Breaks away when you rub your hand over it.
It's also like
if you lick it, it'll sort of wear away.
190 points and can fly. This thing can only move 6 inches.
I like him still. I think if I was going full on, don't want to make any friends whatsoever, I wouldn't take one. But
once Blues
And to be fair, I don't think I'd take Miao Ying either. I mean, the Celestial Guard and stuff's great, but I think I said it in our Discord. She's like a 500-point tax because she doesn't do that much. Because everything else does everything. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather take 2 lanterns if I was being that guy.
Yeah, she doesn't give up points.
Yeah, she does. She does.
But she doesn't. If you lose Miao Ying, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, she's a nice centerpiece to float around, I guess. I mean, to be honest, dragon form, she's not that bad in combat.
If she's pulling out the points that stops 2 balloons going into people's lists, then I'll be very happy to see her across every army.
Yes, I agree. The model's lovely though, and she's so big as well compared to what I thought she was.
So Jack's been painting. So as normal, Jack has now painted an army since we last recorded.
One model. So the Tomb King on the left was already, well, the Tomb Dragon on the left was already painted from the person I bought the army from.
Where's his wings?
He didn't like the dragon, so he converted it to a crocodile. Hence the pond underneath it, and taking out the wings. So
a necro worm.
Yeah. So I of course painted up a second Tomb Dragon. Not quite as nicely highlighted and stuff, but it's I'm quite happy with the sort of look of the army. Come out with these sort of black obsidian-y rock style, 50 skeletons with long hand weapons. As these two, as it's like, why have you done spears?
Yeah,
I think they just.
I even sent you a bag of weapons as well. With Liam has.
I've got plenty of weapons. I'm just ignoring them. I painted up 16 horse archers. I converted up probably half a dozen characters, including this sort of Tomb King on the left and a Necrotect. Also did a wizard, a Lich Priest, Mortuary Priest, a BSB, just another generic Tomb King on foot. So yeah, the Tomb Dragon and the War Sphinx kits just have so many bits to use and sort of have fun with. So yes, that's a second Necro Sphinx on the left there, which I've just currently finishing up at the moment. So you can see it's in various stages of being painted and washed.
I was going to say, I think there's a whole tub of Agrax Earthshade just in that recess there,
Jack. That's it's Flesh Shade actually.
All right, sauce.
Yeah, I made the mistake of, so I figured I'd be economical with my build and sort of have it so I could swap the top over with a War Sphinx if I ever wanted to run a War Sphinx. And there's 2 little like mini wings that sort of clip into that little gap that I didn't realize like was on both kits. So I glued it onto the War Sphinx, which I'll never use. And then came to him and I was like, he's missing some little bits here. So I need to try and figure a way to hide that a bit better.
So now it's just a shade pot.
It's just so yeah, so he's done. I did 2 chariots, and at the back you can see just about a third chariot, which is actually going to be my baggage train. So it's the Howder off the War Sphinx, and I sort of converted it up using the sort of spokes and bits of wood off a chariot that I chopped up and sort of turned it into a chariot itself. It's full of spare ammo and shields and stuff, so I think it does the job.
Is that where all your hand weapons are?
Yeah. the spears wouldn't fit in there. They had only hand weapons. And yeah, you can see the second Necro Sphinx in the background of that picture. So yeah, so I think I've got done 50-ish skeletons, 16 horse archers, bone dragon, 2 Necro Sphinxes, half a dozen characters, 3 tomb swarms, and maybe one or two other little, the baggage train, some objective markers in about 2 weeks. So my
Not
shoulders
bad going time-wise.
my shoulders and neck are killing me. I'm ready to have a little break. But I think I've already decided what the next project is. So there's still a few things on sprue that I've not touched yet. Some Tomb Guard, some more chariots, and some more skellies, which I'll probably leave for the minute, and come back to them a little later down the line. Because I've basically painted an army plus a few extras at the minute. So I'll give that a run out and have some fun with that, and then sort of progress on. But I've just signed up for a narrative event in February.
Is that
Boards and
Bash?
Swords.
Yeah, I need to do that as well.
A Boards and
I'm
Swords
not
in
here, but I
Derby,
do that.
which is a Greenskins versus Dwarves only narrative event. So it's a 1-day event, and there's a few different scenarios. You basically pick which side you're going to be on. So I'm Team Greenskin. So I need to get my boxes and boxes of Orcs and Goblins out of the garage, and they all need to be rebased and they were basically one of my first armies I got, so they're all a bit old and haggard, and the paint jobs were a bit outdated. So I just need to have some fun coming up with some narrative sort of list and some narrative behind the army. So Tom's requested that we all give sort of like a page of narrative behind our army and our character, and then basically come up with something and then get them on the table and get that next army painted and sorted. So looking forward to the next project, but I'll probably wait a couple of weeks to give my back a bit of time to recover from being hunched over my kitchen table for hours every night.
I know you need 50 skeletons with hand weapons.
They've got hand weapons. They've just got long hand weapons.
To be fair, I've got 40 of each. On the pure fact, one sits and one just goes running around after stuff.
I just think they look better with the spears than the hand weapons.
They
unless you sent us those sort of little like converted weapons where they've sort of snipped some of the axe off to make it a bit more sort of Egyptian looking and trimmed the sword into a scimitar, but the amount of work to do that for 50 skeletons, it was a bit off-putting for me, so I just went the spears and shields.
Well, in that bag I've given Liam, unless he's took them out, there's quite a few Tomb Guard swords and shields. There you go. Look, it even says Jack on it. There's lots of Tomb Guard swords in there, because I've used halberds on mine. Just because why not? Extra strength on the Tomb Guard. Strength 5, aren't they? With the halberds. So
I'm going to pick up a ticket to that Bash event as well. Get with Trollhorde out.
Yeah, I was considering Trollhorde. And Rob's going. He's taking his War. His Nomadic War.
Cool.
What's the date on that? I'm really jealous now. But
February.
First weekend in Feb, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm almost United at home, so I'm just like, nah, I can't. Is it the 7th and 8th?
It's just in one day, yeah.
So my only hope, and they do this a lot, Sky Sports, bad people.
21st. It's the 21st of February.
The 31st?
21st.
Ah, yeah, can't be missing that. It's only the Sheffield Derby. The second one.
I know, both of them can't lose, right?
Well, yeah, they'll move that to the second, to the Sunday anyway, the 22nd. But yeah, no, we're not going to lose now anyway. The Messiah's back.
Right then, should we get on to?
Oh, that's my cue. Change the banner. Event recap. Do we have to listen to this again, Liam?
Well, the good news is someone asked for it in more detail. I'm echoing in someone's as well.
Yeah, you're very echoey, but I don't think anyone's changed anything.
I might go.
Oh, Dan's.
Cool. Yeah, it must be Dan, because we've got headphones on.
What?
It wasn't that second ago, yeah. It's sorted now, don't we? Right, so yes, I was at Facehammer for a 2,000-point match play event up at Element Games in Stockport.
So is Facehammer like Is it an ongoing? Is this the first time it's run, or is this like a?
It's the first time it's run for AOS for Old World.
But it used
Russ,
to
ran it for AOS for years, and he's got his own YouTube channel. Russ the Face Fields guy behind it is one of the guys who basically helped drag AOS out of being whoever talked to the horse first wins game. So we put a lot of effort into that. So I'd like to support him where I can. Took very similar to this to the last couple of events. They just swapped out the Fire Rain for a second non-character lantern, which was the maximum allowed by the comp. The only other bits of comp to be aware of are that a lot of the weaker armies got bonuses. So that was a Knightly Order player there who had 2,200 points in his list. Cannons couldn't shoot through the back end of terrain pieces. So you basically stopped at the second edge, couldn't trick shot over buildings, that kind of stuff. But yeah, stuff that probably should be there in the first place.
Yeah.
Did we see? Did those weaker armies do any better over the weekend for those bonuses, or like were they all just cancelling each other? Were they all just cancelling each other out effectively?
No, the Knightly Order player seemed to be enjoying himself. He'd won the first couple. I think he won 2 or maybe 2 and drew 1 on the Saturday because he picked the one that's good into Undead and Chaos and played them all day.
Nice and more.
So like my random bonus actually works all the time.
Yeah.
It's
arguably the best one, but it's so situational.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see. There's lots of other bits and bobs around, but
is it allowed legacy armies?
Legacy allowed.
Renegade?
Not Renegade, no.
Not big.
I said, where's my army? Well, I don't. Some nice Cathay themed terrain on the board as well. It's just taken. Oh, I don't know. It's different.
The basing suits Liam's army more.
No, Liam.
It does.
It's fine. Just say no.
Yeah. So, game 1, I was against all the Marauders in the world.
Which you've told us is the answer to defeating Cathay, right?
Yeah,
I think you need.
That was literally the text he sent just before this game started as well.
So I think you need some ranged output, and when every single model, apart from the dogs and the 2 units of Beastmen and the 2 Dragon Ogres, has a flail and the Mark of Khorne.
Oh, they're the old Dragon Ogres, my favourite.
Yeah, it was only going to be 1 result.
So was nothing ambushing or anything here?
Nothing ambushed. It was all on the board. It was something ridiculous like 2 units of dogs, 2 units of Ungors, 2 Dragon Ogres, 4 on-foot Chaos characters, each leading a unit of like 12 or 14 Marauders, and then another 4 units of Marauder Tribe Berserkers, and 4 units of Marauder Cavalry.
So it had allied beastmen.
No, they can be taken as mercenaries in a Wars of the Sea list.
No.
Yeah,
we had our little challenge at the start of the game, and we killed each other. So we rolled off, and I got the first turn. You said, Jack, you wanted to mention about why I actually deployed some things where I did. So down here, I've got the cannon, or the first cannon.
So this is opposite to your usual tactic. Seems to be the cannon would sit right on the edge of the woods. But is that just a bit too close?
Yeah, the wood's about 12.5 inches from the edge of the board. So I could have done it and moved into it turn 1, but didn't. But effectively, I can see anything over this side of the board. So as long as I don't mess up and put my Shugengan in front of stuff.
Yeah, and I guess there's not huge cannon targets in this.
No, it's just
rear flankers and horses, or
yeah. My other cannon's right in the bottom right-hand corner, and again, it's just basically gives me one to the left of his army, one to the right of his army, and just to do the impact from the cannons to try and slow it down a little bit. Everything else was just positioned where it's going to be annoying quickly. The unit of Jade Lancers on the left, going for that objective, middle Jade Warriors, claim that one. One's on the right hand side in this corner, claim the one that's hiding underneath that lantern when they get a chance. This was my turn 1 movement. I just shoved it all forward and dropped bombs on it and killed maybe 10, 15 models. Managed to kill some of my own. No, didn't kill any main lancers this turn. But things like the Shigengan hasn't got anything to worry about whatsoever into this style of list. And it can't reach me. And the lanterns are just going to systematically over the next 3 turns move to within 4.5 inches of one of his units, shoot it, or drop bombs on one unit, shoot another unit, kill them, get charged by a really slow moving foot troop of Khorne, fire and flee, roll at least a 3 to get away. And even if he does catch me, who cares? And then repeat and get a free shooting phase in each of his movement phases when they accept the charge.
I'm going to say every template's hitting something there, isn't it?
You're not missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of that played out as expected. The unit Marauder Cav here did get a charge onto these Lancers after the dogs died and killed those. So I did lose a few models. And these Dragon Ogres eventually came right the way around this rock formation and started to be annoying. Take from the other side of the table. Quite like that picture. And then just slowly wound it up from the left to the right. And I think we called it at the end of turn 3, maybe 3, 4, something like that.
So
there wasn't a lot left.
Can I read a quote out from Liam? So this was after the first picture you just showed us. Me and Jack were all like, well, Jack's words were panic it all off turn 1. Liam said it's all Khorne. And we were all like, yep, game over then. End of my turn 2. I went first. I'm about 1/3 of the way through it. Called it the end of turn 4. He had 20 models left.
Yeah, so it had about 150 models and it died.
Liam, you're supposed to be a nice guy.
I was very nice. I even got a favourite opponent score from him. So
fair play. Yeah, you
was
can't
He must have played some horrible lists.
Yeah.
He must have had a torrid weekend.
Yeah, maybe. So I want to fly into my game 2. This was a table next to me in round 2. So same chap, but again, absolute crap load of night goblins. So they had about 400 wounds on the table between them. And it's just like, this is amazing.
Those fanatics would not miss.
Yeah, they just went through everything.
It's fantastic. Do the fanatics hit everything it touches?
Yeah.
It pops out of the back.
Yeah, it just keeps it just bounces through. If you can, because you can send them in any direction you want, you send them out to the flank, and then back through the whole line effectively.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that had the predictable result in as well. Yeah, my game 2. So I was drawn against JD and his Wolves of the Sea, but a very different kind of Wolves of the Sea. 2 dragon, 2 spawn, some marauders, and a unit of skin wolves.
He's not using Aegis Dragon.
Yeah, that is Aegis Dragon.
It's Archaon, isn't it?
And there were 2 ambushing units of berserkers as well. His big unit was a unit of berserkers in open order formation, which is quite cool to see. Just kind of big block that doesn't get panicked. Frenzy and toughness 4, so it sticks around a bit longer, despite the lack of armor, so I quite like that. Deployment was slightly hampered by this great big rock, which was in the way. But luckily, I've got both cannons up against some lowly and obstacles at the bottom here. But they did have limited lane to 5 as a result of that building, that rock and those trees. John issued a challenge. I didn't accept it because I didn't want to lose a champion to a dragon charge layer. Need them. So at the end of my turn 1, John had moved it all forward a little bit, or full blast, but anyway, this is a good thing with Cathay in that if people don't fully hard commit into you turn 1, you guarantee a turn 3 shooting phase, or guarantee a turn 2 shooting phase. Because if you can fire up the no-fly banner and then turn off Swift Stride, which is very reliable with 2 cannons, you only have to worry about a 11-inch charge range with the dragons. Speed 6, no Swift Stride, no fly. And obviously you're reducing that by 1 as well with a cannon. The cannons weren't stacking here either. So basically the only things he could charge were the lanterns. And yeah, they're going to fire and flee and end up safely. We kind of talked it out, and that positioning meant that no matter which one charged which lantern, it was going to end up in one of the gaps. And just basically, again, it's a free shooting face from a lantern, which no one's going to say no to.
So do lanterns do anything against toughness 6 dragons?
Toughness 6 is a problem for them, but it's just weight of numbers.
Yeah,
if you're lucky, you get 1, maybe 2. If you do, it's a bonus. Don't kill everything else. You've got cannons for
6 rounds.
Yeah. I got quite lucky in my second shooting phase, and without having to double fire any cannons at the start of John's turn 3, he was down a Chaos Lord. So 3 cannonballs, 3 wounds, 3 failed ward saves. That's
the big difference now, without being able to have that triple stack save.
Yeah. So the aspiring champion did have a triple stack save, but I failed to wound it 3 times in a row.
So that's not one fire, that's a
you can see the one little guy at the front of it.
Oh,
holding its sword up.
On the base.
It's definitely a rhythm monster.
Yep.
But basically it was just play keep away once I'd killed the Chaos Lord. The spawn at the bottom
runs into those infantry, it loses. So
yeah, I think what did he do? I think he went into a sentinel, and after 2 rounds of combat, killed it. I did a bunch of wounds to it as well, back to a dragon, but didn't kill him below it, annoyingly. I was probably hoping a little bit there. The spawn at the bottom came down and fought with Jade Warriors to a standstill. At one point, another unit, Marauder Berserkers, came on, but I just positioned in a way where they had to charge me on a turn the spawn didn't. So I got to kill them, reform. I think no, what happened was the spawn charged into me, and they ran up to the side ready to join in later. I beat the spawn in combat, span around, charge them, beat them, span around, got to fight the spawn. Towards the end of the game, I went for the big Marauder block and got back down to below 25. Killed that unit Marauder Horseman and the Skin Wolves. Meanwhile, John managed to take out both of my cannons, I want to say, with a dragon that had managed to get through. But I was up at the end of it by about 400 points. So 4-2 in the end to back up the 6-0 in the first game.
So were these missions just the rulebook missions then? No changes?
They were match play ones, with no changes. So this was the one where you deploy in opposite table quarters. We had strategic locations free and baggage trains on this one. But yeah, John got my baggage train, and it was about a 400-point win in the end. Going into game 3, I thought it was against Tomb Kings. I was quite a couple of nasty-looking Tomb Kings lists at the event, so I presumed it was one of those. Turns out it wasn't. It was a nice Tomb King list that had a bit of everything in it. So it's block of skeleton skirmishers, block of tomb guard, block of skeleton warriors, 6 Ushabti, Tomb King on a chariot, casket, a level 4, and a necrosphinx and 2 scorpions.
Small blocks of skeletons and tomb
Yeah,
guard
only
as well.
20-ish on both of them. Same as before here, so deployed in the wood, blocking off the bottom corner for ambushes, coming on the side of the board. Second one was just in the middle somewhere because I don't like deploying them together unless I'm perfectly safe. So again, it's just trying to protect points.
Point them out, yeah.
But I just shoved it forward as far as I could, turn 1. That middle lantern bombed the tomb guard and got them down to about 4 or 5 models after the shooting phase. But they were all risen again by the end of my opponent's command phase, bar 2.
Nice.
So kind of wasted effort. Over on the right hand side, my Shigengan and non-character lantern, we're just going to tie up those Ushabti as quickly as possible. We were another, and I think this was maybe turn 3, or no, maybe start my opponent's turn 2, where I'd bombed the Hierophant so it couldn't get away from being the closest model to a lantern. So I killed that and just stood in front of a necrosphinx and didn't really care.
Yeah,
It's not good.
That's the hard thing with these balloons is that you've got to throw those stuff into units to protect them.
Yeah.
But then
It had the flying cloak.
Okay, but
so you
then
do the trick where you pop the no fly banner,
you just pin it in
and
place.
it can't join the unit anyway, and it's just like fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, my Shigengans engaged the Ushabti, so they stay there for the rest of the game, and the lanterns killing the unit of skeleton warriors. I think the Jade Lancers have turned around, ready to meet the Tomb King on his chariot, who was coming around the back for a cannon. And then after, say, this was opponent's turn 2, the Necrosphinx is charged, does a couple of wounds to the balloon.
You're immune to killing blow, heroic killing blow. Like the next thing isn't going to get through.
Yeah,
even in non-character one, unless you get very literally hit and wound with everything and your stomps.
Yeah. And that's what's there. We called that one maybe turn 3. Yeah, it was all crumbling quite early on when Hierophant was dead in turn 2. Did feel a little guilty after that one, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I think it was just a really bad mismatch. He said his first couple of opponents he'd been lucky in a couple of instances, and he obviously got reasonable draws, and he was well above where he thought he'd be at that point in the tournament.
You pushed him back down.
Yeah, it showed a little bit. So I got a 6-0 in that one as well. And into day 2, playing against Nick and his Orcs and Goblins.
Very much top of the table at this point, or is there still a few people sort of around that point?
Nick was top of the table. Nick had got 6-6-6 for the full 18 in the first day. This was definitely one of the more challenging games, and we joked about it like, would we just take the 3-3 prior to the game? Because neither of us really knew how this works out properly. And if the Fanatics do well, then I'd probably get hammered. If they don't roll well, then I kill enough and Nick loses big. But again, deployment here, there's no terrain to hide behind, apart from this one block here. But he's got only the artillery is 2 Doom Dogs to right at the back.
What's hidden behind those goblins?
And so he's got 4 blocks of goblins with 11 fanatics between them. A big block of Black Orcs, a Wyvern, 2 Doom Divers, and maybe 3 or 4 different wizards and little characters. Night Goblin BSB,
Just
a
got
level
unlocked the Night Goblin.
4. Yeah, effectively that.
So it's a pretty it's a pretty high end.
Oh yeah.
Goblins list.
He thinks it's about as high end as you're going to get Orcs and Goblins. No, no wasted points anywhere.
I'm not sure if Black Orcs are still as top tier as they previously were.
We didn't get any worse from 1.5. We just didn't pick up all the benefits, did they?
No. A lot of things got better. So it's just whether other things got to a better than Black Orc.
In terms of deployment here, Nick deployed after my first couple of units, which are generally the infantry and the cavalry. Nick had more or less deployed his entire army, or was very clear where the entire army was going to go. So I just kind of positioned on in a way where I could hit things. The fence on this side I thought would be good fanatic protection. And over here, the reason I put this one out here rather than behind this rock, which was the other option, was Doom Divers can hit it anyway, but they're unlikely to kill it. So I kind of wanted to force some fanatics out, and you don't do that when fanatics aren't going to kill anything. So went with that, and this was Nick's first movement phase. He did something I didn't see coming, and he marched that unit of Night Goblins forward on the left-hand side, and then Arcane Agency it forward to get it right up to the fence. And what that allowed him to do was then, at the start of his turn, put the fanatics the other side of the fence. It's like skipping my protection. The unit in the middle marched forward to allow the unit on the left, or Nick's left, to reform out to project fanatic further than he could otherwise. Everything else just kind of shimmied around a little bit. The Orc Shaman and his Black Orcs came to the forest to give line of sight for various bits and bobs later. But at the end of the shooting phase, saw the non-character lantern take 5 wounds from Doom Divers. So I took it down to 2. And then Fanatics came out, and as you can see, there's no more second lantern. So I thought, okay, Fanatics are going to roll well here, and I'm in trouble. Luckily, the second set of Fanatics only did 1 wound to a character lantern. Rolled poorly, and I was a little above average with ward saves. But it did mean that I now had 3 Fanatics in front of half my army. End of movement phase. This is end of turn, maybe. The lantern over here went at an angle and bombed the unit that's in the wood and threw grenades at the one that's currently fleeing. Yeah, the green dice are the number of fanatics in the unit. So finished off. So panicked 1, severely wounded another, and kind of just moved it all forward because he outshoots me with 2 Doom Divers that I can't see because we're playing nice cannon rules. Luckily, I got to use the Sentinel up against that low lane of obstacle to protect it from the majority of fanatics if they got lucky and came back round. This was I skipped a load of photos for some reason. In effect, at this point, this is right at the end of the game. I managed to get the Sentinel back to this one. The Sentinel into this unit. Shigengan jumped over here to between that crystal column or vortex or whatever it was, and this unit of Night Goblins, and got into the artillery. So that saved me having to worry too much. This unit of Night Goblins near Nick came forward, and basically he'd grouped up to a point where he'd kind of overgrouped a little bit. So it meant that he was very limited on movement. So I got to do things that I normally wouldn't be able to in terms of sitting into gaps, knowing that the Black Orcs couldn't charge. Especially when you're like through a terrain, -4 movement as well. It kind of gives you a bit of protection from having to worry. And I think the only real debate in this one was early on in this picture. Actually, Nick's turn 2. It's this Wyvern could charge my lantern, but if he did, it meant that my Sentinel would be able to countercharge. So I measured it to a point where I couldn't fire and flee off the table. Obviously, if I failed my terror test, then I would potentially go off the board on like a roll of a 9 or something like that. But he decided against declaring because he didn't want to get Sentinels in the flank. At the last turn, we weren't playing particularly quickly, and we got to like 5 minutes left, and like 5 minutes left, and Nick's like, "Do you want to just really play quickly turn 5?" Like, yeah, we'll do it super quickly. And I got quite lucky in that turn 5. I lost a unit of warriors, but Nick lost 3/4 of that Black Orc unit, a character on foot, and his Black Orc on Wyvern lost his last couple of wounds as well.
So I had a big attrition shooting.
Yeah.
Was it just like
cannons, multiple turns?
Were you just like, let's not play it last turn now again?
Yeah, rewind.
Yeah, no, he was really good about it. And
was he using a special character, or is he just using the model?
Just using the model. But yeah, I won that one by about 700 in the end, so a 5-1.
5-1, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the tougher lists, probably.
Yeah, it was it could have very easily but have been a much smaller game, or even a win, or even a draw. And if Nick had been a little bit luckier early on with shooting, or I'd been a little bit unlucky, then I could have very feasibly have lost that game. But you just think like we did have a talk afterwards, and it's kind of like I said, his is a very tournament honed Orc and Goblin list. Like he's got a 10 out of 10 Orc and Goblin list. And I've still got a lot of selections in this, which we were saying earlier, like the Sentinel and the high level Shugengan.
You definitely tone it.
But yeah, it's still nowhere near as bad as it could be.
Although I guess with the sort of restrictions on balloons and stuff, like there's not huge amounts you could have.
You got to spend points somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah.
I say so.
More
Brian's
cannons?
list. Yeah.
You have recapped out on cannons.
No, there's no cap of them. What was in the match play guide? So Chris Cousins was there with his Cathay, and he had 2 lanterns, 3 cannons, 2 Shugengans, and Brian had 2 lanterns, 4 Shugengans, 1 cannon. So a bit of variety at least, but not loads. Limited model selection.
I'm going to say the roster's not overly saturated. It's quite small anyway, the choices.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what the Empire unlocks in them.
Yeah, I do worry it's going to end up being Magic Ring spam for quite a bit though, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But speaking of Brian,
I'd agree. Having used them, the Empire don't necessarily add much to the army unless you really go into it and obviously have handgunners or whatever else. But then I think you lose out on the stuff you really want in there, comparatively speaking.
Yeah,
so
you definitely do.
Jade Fleet comparatively, you'll definitely see the items out of the Arcane Journal. Absolutely, like you just said, ring spam, which the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, Jade Fleet doesn't stop you taking anything.
No.
Other than like if we ever get a second dragon, but for now it's just like here's an army with some additional rules if you want to use them. Let yourselves out. But I think you'll see people wanting to take it so that they can play into the Empire a little bit and add a little variety to their force. At least I hope so anyway. like I said the other week, any points spent on Empire models are points not being spent on Cathay ones, which are generally the better of the two. So into game 5 against Brian, rematch from Sheffield.
I say you played McDonald's last
Yeah.
time, right?
This is the end of Brian's turn 1, I think. We basically positioned so that, or end of his movement phase anyway. I've got my lanterns were too close to a table edge. That's why they're not on the stands here. The other one's in the bottom right-hand corner. Again, favourite trick of putting artillery towing into a wood. Flanked by both units of Jade Warriors, so people can't get into it easily. And if they do, I've got units I can shuffle across. Lancers in a position to go and claim that objective on the left-hand side if there weren't 2 lanterns there. And Sentinel, just basically, this is an impassable line of sight, like a bit of scenery in the middle. There is just hiding from the cannons or cannon. Brian's had 2 Shingengan Lords. One had the Ogre Blade, one had the Monkey Staff. So my character lantern, my normal lantern, and my Shingengan were all a little bit worried. Obviously, the Sentinel can't get taken down easily by those because it's immune to the multiple wounds. But it still probably loses combat unless it gets lucky and kills one. Brian, aggressively deployed both of his Sentinel, his lanterns with scouting, which meant I got the +1 to go first. But Brian won the roll off after about 3 attempts. In terms of damage on turn 1, he killed most of his Lancer unit, or if not all of that Lancer unit, and his cannon killed one of my cannons, which was a bit disappointing, but it's what it is. It misfired on the second shot, luckily. So
was he going for a second cannon?
Yeah.
That would have been upsetting if you'd lost both of them.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I had, that would have been game at that point. Just with what I did next was, in my turn, I managed to I set up to do the whole trick I did last time, where you end up being 9 inches away from one lantern with your lantern, and positioned so you can countercharge with your Shingengan, knowing that they can't get away after you've popped your fly banner. I managed to shoot with my remaining cannon into one of them, did a few wounds, and then its second shot went over into these 2 Shingengan generals.
Just using it for a turn and swift stride off.
Yeah, basically. We don't want to go into the warriors themselves for the same reason the dragon doesn't want to go in. They can get lucky with impact hits, but it's not reliable. So this was after my turn 1. This is Brian's turn 2, and he's now popped his no-fly banner. My lantern is in trouble. It basically can't get out of getting retaliatory shot by 2 lanterns itself. But what did happen in my turn, or start of my turn 2, is one of these 2 Shingengan generals declared into the lantern. As you can see, there's only 1 Shingengan general here at this point. As I killed one on the stand and shoot.
The stand and shoot?
Yeah. Got a little lucky there. And again, this unit and the Sentinel just hiding from the cannon. Even if it's only 1 wound, it's 1 wound.
I guess your balloon there blocks his line of sight to your cannon as well.
It does, yeah. That was the intention. So I basically can't get shot and I get to pick what I shoot the following turn. This was a bit later into the game. One of Brian's Shingengan Lords is down here behind my Shingengan. And I was at this point.
Shingengan Conga.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid them, but there was more of them.
Yeah.
So I was setting up fleas through both friendly and enemy units. Knowing at worst I lose a wound to just avoid dying while trying to cast control spells.
because yours isn't really
resolution.
offensively tooled up as much as his, by the sounds of it.
I barely got any off the entire game, but by this point I managed to whittle down one lantern, and we started on the second. Mine was still having a bit of a free reign, which was lucky. The Shugeng in general, you can just about see here. I think I made my only forgetful mistake of the tournament, and in turn 2 I could have charged it with that unit of warriors on the right and just totally forgot, which meant that it got into my cannon in turn 3 or turn 4 maybe. But the fun thing was that both our cannons at this stage were refusing to shoot anything. They were both misfiring in some kind of gentlemanly agreement that, yes, training exercise, already lost too many men. And then that the only spell I got off the entire game was 1 column of crystal. But as you can see from the tight fit, it was extremely pivotal, and meant that Sentinel got to have free reign for a couple of rounds, not having to worry about the Shugengan. I think the turn after this, the middle unit here basically set up to accept 2 charges from the Shugengans. They lost combat, but only really luckily only fled about 4 inches. So it meant that I got to move both lanterns into range to shoot one of them. And the last act of the game was me bombing off one of the Shugengans for about 350 points worth of swing.
That trade off for a unit of 200 point infantry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was literally the iron hail guns from one of the lanterns who didn't have range on their grenades doing the last wound to him. But we got there in the end, and once it was all said and done, I'd picked up a fair few more points on scenario than Brian had, and I think that ended a 5-1 in the end. So I managed to avoid. I think the 2 Shugengans with the big weapons only got into that unit of warriors in turn 6 of the game, just because we kind of came around this building and then we were playing catch for a lantern.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like you controlled 2 of the objectives for most of the game.
Yeah, basically, and it just added up. Just take it from a 4-2 to a 5-1, and that was that. And at the end of the result, picked up first place, some really cool dice in the tin, and a bunch of objective markers and widgets.
It's cool, right?
Best sporting, right, Liam?
That is definitely not most sporting. One of the chaps got 4, and to get 4 out of 5 is really good going. I think a couple of people voted for me, but I was never gonna pick up that. I'm just not that kind of person.
What was?
By that I mean nice.
So what were top 3, top 5 sort of factions?
Top 3 was Chaos Dwarfs in 2nd, and Bretonians in 3rd.
Oh, okay. So with 3 Cathay lists there?
3 Cathay. I want to say only one in the top 3. Maybe 5th and 8th or 9th, something like that. At the end of it,
did the other 2 play each other as well?
They played each other round 1.
Right. Okay. So that.
And Chris got turn 1 and shot off the cannons, shot off Brian's cannon, and killed a couple of Shugengans. And I think
you ended up playing
Brian rather than
Christmas.
Chris lost to Ian's Bretonians.
Bretonians
in round 4.
Okay.
A unit of peasant bowmen did 4 wounds to a lantern in 1 shooting phase.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. Like watching it on the table next to us happen, it's like that should not happen.
But sometimes there is stuff like that can take the cannons down, though, isn't it? Just random stuff like that, like you say. 20 Bretonian bowmen are like what, 100 points?
Yeah.
You have enough for them, they'll kill a lantern a turn.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was
a turn. You need
7 units.
1,000.
I've just said there are 100 points with 20. You could definitely get them in 2K.
Run out of table space. But there's awards for whoever killed the most generals. There was an award for whoever killed the most victory points, and awards for who lost the least victory points over the games. Russ made the decision not to fill my car with trophies and awarding to people who didn't finish in the top 3.
Oh, so you would have.
Yeah.
How many of them would you have wrapped up?
All of them.
All of them.
Yes. There was a bunch of really, really nicely painted armies there. And I think Ian won with his like kind of muted yellow Bretonians. They're really gorgeous army. Most.
You not took a photo of them, Liam?
I did not take a photo of them.
My God.
I don't know why I didn't.
Time, Jack.
I know he's worse than me these days.
I took photos of my games. Like, yeah, that was it. I think I'm done with Cathay for events for a little bit. I need to decide what I do.
Secured your
Praise
master's
the Lord.
spot. No, he's secured his master's spot.
You can all use your toys again now.
I can't really only. I can't do the Masters date.
Oh.
So I'm already away that weekend. The lads weekend in a cottage. So if you're 25th, you can now get an invite.
I'm not 25th.
Yeah, so I'm quite happy with like obviously the results, but I need to decide if my only like serious event I've got booked in between now and Christmas is Forgotten North. So I need to decide if I'm going to take Cathay to Forgotten North, where they've been heavily comped, down to 2 lanterns of which, or one lantern if it's a character. Obviously no can stacking, all that stuff. So it's either pick up Miao Ying and pay the cavalry bus list, or I don't know, maybe I just take the Troll Horde.
After playing against the Wolves of the Sea list, do you still think they have play into Cathay?
Yes. Either say when I played Nat the other night as well, admittedly with a much toned down Cathay list, like it definitely felt like they did. Matt had a Demonology Zinch level 4, and then the Rod and the Ring. And I think what I said before, where you take Demonology spells for the summoning and some bound items to try and weaken balloons, is definitely the way forward. I'm not sold massively on the Demon Puncher's Mucho in my head after doing it a couple of times. Like the 4 toughness 6 monsters with John, or 3 toughness 6, 1 toughness 5 with triple save, felt really bad to play into. Like I know I got lucky and killed the dragon, but it took the cannon fire to do that, and the lanterns don't do loads against toughness 6.
Yeah, but it's hard, like you, as you're showing it, it's still tricky for them to tie your cannon, your sort of balloons down. Though.
It is, but it's one of the things where if your opponent makes a small positioning mistake, like if you don't block off your back and you get to bring on a ambushing unit, or you take a marauder unit of Cav and you conga line it and move it 24 inches, or do the same with dogs at 21, and like prevent landing zones, which is much easier said than done. But I think you could potentially trap them in a little bit. By no means easy, but you should just kind of, do I want to take a list to go Cathay hunting, or do I want to just take the Cathay and do it against effectively the entire heavily competitive meta that's going to be at Frozen North?
It's going to be probably 15 of the top 24 are probably going to be there, I'd imagine.
Exactly that. So if I'm fully aware that outside of a few people, I've kind of done well on smaller events.
Just use that as your masters. I reckon.
Yeah, essentially, there is that.
Dominate that.
You definitely need to like anti-meta it. Do you want to borrow 30 Outriders?
I know, I was debating it.
And the Witch Hunters to go in the units as well.
Yeah. It was definitely like something that was in my head as a maybe.
I think we need to organise again. We'll test that theory whether we think it works, because
it works. It's just I'm not sure it works reliably enough.
Reliably, yeah. Because effectively it's the same. It's the same like strength, damage, and all that stuff as the bombs.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that you have to roll to hit and to wound. You're not rolling 6 dice and hitting 15 times. You're having to roll 15 shots to try and hit 15 times.
Yeah.
I think the Outriders die to a turn of shooting from the balloon.
They do.
Yeah, correct, yeah. But on the flip side, they could do the same as well.
I think
they're running on 5s, but
you have to play smart and use archers to prevent landing zones.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think you're going to get away anyway. I still think they die to the Iron Hail guns, to be quite honest. They've only got heavy, so there'd be 6 up saves. You're hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s.
And 5 OAP on those guns, other than armor vein.
Well, the Iron Hail ones, right? So I've got, 5 up armor save, but you're still doing a lot of shots.
1 in 3.
Doing D3 per gun.
You're probably killing enough to panic them out.
Exactly. So I think it's one of those where you almost probably have to focus on one at a time and accept that you're going to lose probably a unit of Outriders. But then again, you've got the Hellblasters as well, which obviously all Vanguard up and stuff. So I don't know. It'd be an interesting one, but it'll definitely be one of those that comes down to who goes first and who shoots first. Basically, it's a shoot out at noon, isn't it? It's a duel at noon.
It is. Yeah, like I can see myself taking Miao Ying cavalry bus list and just playing a different style of Cathay.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
One thing I will say about obviously having used the cavalry, because they're nowhere near. I mean, this is that charge them to flipping dragon ogres, but they have got a specific thing they need to fight, and that's mainly infantry. I think. Do you know what? And I don't know why. I completely forgot. You can take high magic, can't you?
Yeah.
You can take like Ring of Fury of Cain and give them the 5 more on the turn and stuff. Yeah, so you can tool them up a little bit, but you've obviously either got to take a law familiar to guarantee you get those spells, or just get lucky.
And the problem is, if you're taking Miao Ying, that's 500 points. Your Shingan guns, 350. Your cavalry character to go in the bus is 100, 120, 150. You've got 2 lanterns because
they need to be Celestial Guard as well to do the damage. I think
you're basically getting. I need to write a list, but I think you can probably squeeze in 2 cannons and maybe 2 units of about 13 warriors, 13, 14 warriors with a decent sized bus. Yeah. Right. I need to have a proper play, but it's something I want to look at.
Be interesting to see what you come away with. Maybe we could do that one of the other episodes. What's a non-filth Cathay list?
The thing is, it's not that it's non-filth. It's just
something that you've got different, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't rely on the full damage output from lanterns 24/7. I
mean, that's what I tried. I tried it with 1 lantern. I thought, actually, no, the 1 lantern's still disgusting, even against dragon ogres. But I don't know. They're just way too strong. But again, we've all said about the damage output and stuff. They've just got bang average weapons that just seem to work very well.
Yeah.
Regardless of who uses them, it's just because
they can. Liam was saying, like, you get to shoot on your opponent's turn, you get to shoot on your turn, you get to drop your template. Like, they just it's just weight of numbers. Nothing else sort of can do that.
And they ignore most, if not all, modifiers as well. Yeah. And have every rule on some.
Speaking of non-serious events for the rest of the year, earlier this week I picked up a ticket for this.
Yes, you did. You did. Who's running this? Oh, it's me. Yeah. So actually, Jack, you had a big part in this, unbeknownst to yourself. So did a rules pack. I've actually taken out the allies comp of it. So you have a main force, and then you have someone who's the second. Because I think, I mean, I know you didn't say this, Jack. I don't think, but I've spoke to a few people that went to the event, and they said they just completely forgot about it.
The Warhammer World doubles.
Yeah, so like the suspicious allies, all that kind of stuff. People just forgot about it. So
Quite a few of our opponents had forgotten about it when we were sort of like, oh, like we were like, oh, like we've gone this way because I know it's worse for us, but it means we can, pray, we can do this, and they were going, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and that sort of stuff.
So I've just taken that confusion out of it. So we're not running that. The only kind of comp I've put on it is that obviously it's the same thing, that only
same order.
Yeah, order or disorder or order or destruction can be together. But then I've also let legacy armies essentially be mercenaries, so they can go with any faction. So what may be deemed to be like chaos dwarves, for instance, maybe, I don't know, fight with dwarves.
You have a vampire with every army.
Yeah,
vampire and empire army.
Empire and empire armies. So there is a few. I know I think there's two high elf players playing together, which will be interesting to see what they come up with. The usual stuff is obviously no duplicate magic items. One thing I didn't think about actually when I did write the pack is about what they called unbinds, the fated dispels. I think I'm just going to keep that to armies. So you've actually got two a game, because obviously you might have multiple casters within armies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Each army has one essentially, so you've got two per team essentially. But yeah, so we've also hit the first mission off the pack as well, Jack, because that's just stupid. What you can
it's crap.
Deploy combat.
So for stuff like miscast, when it's you can no longer cast magic this turn.
Yeah,
you limited that to half the team or the full team.
Yeah, whoever basically,
just the player whoever miscast.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad enough, but double jeopardy be a bit rough. Although to be fair, from the general vibe I've got from
we like at the Throne Schools one, there was very few wizards. Like
not many people. There's a lot of basically because you're only basically you're at the starter level points. I think GW even said 1250 is like the introductory level, isn't it? Which was in starter boxes. So they're kind of not. They're not necessarily going for wizards and stuff.
People want the Duke with the Ogre Blade and the Duke with the Frontier Axe and the Chaos Dragon.
I think there's a demon player that's going to be there who will be using Zinch. We know that. So that he'll have a chick in there. Which is dumb because it actually comes under the 312 points for a level 3 or 4, I think it is. Can't remember which one it is. It'd be a level 3, I think, but that actually comes underneath the points, which is a bit rough. Because that can get a bit nasty. But yeah, the only thing I've got to do is actually try and print out some places of power, or sorry, the special features. What did they use at GW, Jack?
Just like a little
stuff.
Just like a little. It's just like a little pillared gazebo type thing. From what I can remember, it's just like it's like 4 pillars with a little roof on, effectively. I think.
Okay.
And I think we our table just agreed it as impassable sort of blocked line of sight type. But it was only sort of smallish sort of footprint. So yeah, just you could have some like magic wells or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, what I was thinking of is if I can get hold of them. Remember the old Bellwind Vortexes? I might print a load of those out because they seem quite easy to print. I've got an official one anyway. If I can get some more, I'll try and get some more. But using those, I think they're the right base size on the bottom. because it's like, is it 6 inches? It's a 6-inch circle, isn't it? Essentially,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm almost certain like the right side and the bottom, so I might use those for them, just because they look a bit cool. I might just print like loads of like a typhoon or something like that. I just need something I can print out simple and quickly. I mean,
Yeah, I think someone made like a load of vortex spell 3D prints, which I think the largest templates are sort of around that size. So maybe you find those online.
Well,
like you made like a different one for each magic law.
Yeah, well that's it. As long as I can get, I can get Scoffer. Obviously, I've channel sponsored to just print, cut me out some circles, some round 6-inch bases, and then I can just whack some tornadoes or like magic things on them or something like that.
Yeah,
so that's my plan for that. But yeah, it's just, I think it should be a good days, good laugh. I think from the teams, the three-man teams, obviously you guys came to. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I think you get a bit more banter, don't you, when there's a few, like
definitely.
I think so.
Yeah, I think doubles are nicer as well. Unless I think if you sort of, because obviously you all just stood around the same table, and doubles are good. The team ones are nice because you're not relying on your score necessarily, but you're still not really interacting huge amounts with the rest of your team.
Yeah.
Whereas at least in like doubles, if you stood next to them and sort of cocking each other up and that sort of stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, we're off full as well, so which is good.
You're saying about the Lord of Change under point. So is it only 25% for law for characters, or is it 50% characters?
Yeah, I think it's under points, isn't it?
No, but it's
500. It'd be
625.
It's grand melee and combined arms.
Okay, so I'm still allowed 50% on characters.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's all the usual rule book stuff. No renegade packs, even though it's been argued against in the Discord, which were quite funny, but we're just kind of following suit. I mean, you know, I'm all GW rulebook stuff anyway, because again, everyone's got it, haven't they? So that's my stance on that. But
I mean, the rulebook is long outdated now.
Anyway. It is, yeah. It is, yeah. I mean, essentially everything's a renegade pack in it, because it's all PDFs and FAQs.
But yeah, I can't make this one. I'm going to the Welsh Open the weekend after, down in Cardiff. So that's just sold out at 84 players or 86 players, I believe. So that's going to be a very interesting, another sort of high tier player kill fest, I think. So I'm sure I'll come back with a nice last wooden spoon.
So you can still come to this one. It's okay. I know, it's fine. Your only friend is playing with somebody else, which is Liam. So
I'm playing with a guy who I've played 2 games of Old World against, who's only played 2 games of Old World and doesn't yet own a single painted model.
Amazing. Well,
so it may end up being my Wars of the Sea for both of us, but we'll see how it goes.
You have a month to paint everything up. And there is actually, I'm not doing, so for the painting awards as well, I'm actually doing best painted armies as well. So I'm not just single like it was before. So it has to be taken into account that, both your armies are decently painted as well.
Well, Liam's just providing both for the armies.
Well,
right.
Well, I've commission painted 2 of the armies that were there last week. So the last week, and actually, they both got quite a couple of. Well, they got 2 votes as well, which were quite funny.
Yeah, I
probably even put them out.
I was speaking to someone today, actually, Dan, that was asking about commission painting and wanted to have a chat with you about how getting started into commission painting and so I said yours is a bit. You're not a real commission painter.
No, I'll just do friend. Kind of friend rate type things. Yeah, I'm not like going to make the money. Well, obviously charge money for it, but a lot of people. So Carlo, I did the Warriors of Chaos for. He actually gave me most of the paints to use out of his own collection for the pure fact that he's not a good painter. So he says, well, rather than you charging me to buy the stuff, I'll give you my stuff and I'll do it, which were even better, because I know obviously it dropped the price down for him, but also I didn't have to then go out and buy all the paints and sprays and everything. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a golden demon winning painter, but I can paint when I put my mind to it. One thing I will say to anyone that's listening, obviously your friend Jack, is you've got to have time to do it, because if you don't, one, you're not going to finish it, and two, you end up rushing. But I'm that stupid guy that will take on a commission and have it done in. Tell someone I'll do it in 2 weeks.
That's easy. I can do an army in 2 weeks.
Well, no, I finished the Warriors of Chaos one was 3.5.
That was when you like had holidays and stuff. And
yeah, in between holiday. Yeah, well, so we were in went to Ibiza, and then I'm like, oh yeah, well, I took it on. Oh yeah, I'm in Ibiza next week, but I can start it. It's fine. But Warrior Chaos is quite easy because it's all furs and armor. I think if you get into the more like Cathay, I could never do a commission for Cathay.
Cathay or dwarfs, like so much.
Yeah, dwarfs would be easier. Yeah, exactly. Anything somewhat simpler like, or anything that you can almost base contrast everything, and then go in an agile after fine. So like Bretonians are really good. Not the knights, the peasants and stuff. Yeah, it would be really easy. But anything that like Age of Sigmar, I could never do a commission for Age of Sigmar. There's just too much going on in the models, and you've got to pick out every bit, the trinket and stuff like that. So yeah, but no, happy. Yeah, if just drop me a message after, and we'll sort some out. So yeah, cool. That's my events. There is 12 tickets remaining for doubles. They're £35 for the team, and yeah, prizes, awards, 3 games on a Sunday. So all good.
Great venue, good parking.
Say that again, mate.
Great venue, good parking.
Yeah, all the usual. Yeah, Patriot Games do us a solid. So yeah, all day park around the corner for like, I think it's £5, something like that. There's a few. There's the cafe inside, but there's plenty of other food places as well around if you don't fancy that. But there's also on a Sunday, which is why we usually have ours. One, we skip all the football matches or most of the football matches, so there's parking available, and it's relatively cheap on a Sunday for parking as well for people to come and park up. So yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. And me and Al are the spare players, so we'll have to come up. Well, I'll have to play some kind of evil army because Al's only got Beastmen and Tomb Kings. So we might just play Tomb Kings and have 2,500 points of just skeleton warriors.
Or just one block.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, not here for fun, mate. Make sure you don't have fun.
Should be ashamed.
Right. I know, yeah, right. We're quite fun. It's just Al that's whack. I might send him your way, Liam. You two get on great.
Maybe. We'll see. So you make me out to be bad, but I'm not anywhere near as good thing.
I think this is quite a good talking point actually to finish on. I think. Do you think armies sometimes do the player disservice because of the armies? Like me and Jack know you for being you sound you're a lovely bloke. But if people don't know you and they see your arm and think, well, this guy's an absolute,
it definitely can, but it works both ways, doesn't it? So like,
massively, yeah.
You can be the biggest git in the world and take a nice friendly list, but no fun to play against.
Yeah,
I'm fully aware that I'm not the most fun person to play against, but I'm also nowhere near the worst. So I like to think I hit somewhere in the middle on that scale. It's where you back me up on this, Jack, and like, yes, Liam, you are nice enough.
yes, Liam. Yeah, Liam's a nice guy. He just likes competitive Warhammer, and I don't think anyone can go to a competitive event with intentions to win the event.
Yeah.
And very rarely you'll find someone who comes top 3 and gets best sporting at events. Like there's a few people out there that do it. Scott Reed from Forgotten North, he has a great tendency of being able to do it. But there's not many other people out there that can
AD's the other one, isn't he?
There's just not many people, it just takes a certain type of person with a certain type of personality to be able to do that.
Yeah, 'cause I think a lot of people are one way or the other, aren't they? Like you say, they are either very competitive and quite intense. I mean, I've played competitive 40k, I've played competitive AOS before, and people, for me, sometimes people get a bit too into it and don't enjoy it. They have to win, which is I don't like personally. But then on the flip side, there are people that have got very strong armies who are actually lovely and can play the game. And then on the flip side, there's people who don't have to play the game who are complete and utter gits, which are the worst players, I think. Because that's where I think the arguments start. I don't mind people being highly competitive if they know what they're doing, but then if they don't know what they're doing, they're also being, a bit.
I think one of the difficulties is as we're still getting new rule books, so there's always new rules and new interactions come into play. So like, unless you're fully up to speed on every sort of book that comes out and every rule, then there can always be slight frictions as people don't understand what could happen, what could have happened, and then especially with Cathay where they just seem to be able to do whatever they want. It can make for those moments where you just sort of like, no, like surely that can't be right. And then like, I don't know, people take offense when other people ask to look at the rules and that sort of stuff. And it just makes for little moments. And like, and obviously no one's like, well, or very few people are out there being malicious. It's just when you're playing a competitive game and
someone wins and someone loses.
Someone wins, someone loses. Then it's just hard. There's not many people do very well at losing. That takes a certain type of someone as well. Oh, practice for Dan.
I'm quite good at it. I'm quite good at losing at events. Like if we're playing down at the club on a Wednesday, like the owl situation, like I do great. As soon as I actually come and actually try to play proper Warhammer, not that I lose interest. I try and make it as fun as possible, even if it's a detriment to myself. I mean, I think Liam will know this more than anyone. I talk myself out of wins more than anybody.
I love it. I love a last-minute suicide charge too.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's like, well, you should have done that, and then they do it, and then they win the game. Like, I think Liam's Blood and Glory event, I took Eldar there, and I went 6-0-6, and I think I told my I'm like, how? It was technically probably one of the stronger armies at the time, but just because I went and did stupid stuff and we're telling people, I even played Stu Black, obviously the 40k rules writer, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, why are you doing that?" And guy, it's fun, isn't it? Well, that's just me at events. I know I pay to get my ass whooped at Warhammer.
I was gonna say that's not just the Warhammer events.
Right? Warhammer.
We just to like finish this whole thing. It's like I'm under no illusion that I'm an okay player with a good army when people don't yet know what we're doing against it and haven't
you've been successful with other armies as well, Liam. It's not like you are a very good player.
I do 4-1s at most events, but the armies kind of help me tip it over to that, and I'm sure that over time that will fade. But with comp being a thing in a lot of places now, like hopefully it will be a more balancing factor quicker.
A lot of that comp though doesn't actually affect your lists, so especially your previous list to this one. That one 2G.
It gets through everything. Yeah. I've not seen anything that does it. It fits under Scottish comp, or Aussie comp, whatever they call it. Fits under the pool. Fits under the Forgotten
The only
North.
thing that you're sort of suffering is the -1, the not stacking the -1 moves.
Yeah,
that's about it, right?
Yeah,
but you don't always necessarily need that. I think that's the important thing there is rolling the high enough dice to switch off the Swift Stride, isn't it? More than anything.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need the two.
When I had my movement 0 plague bearers in the woods,
that's your own fault.
Because you went in the wood.
Never go in the wood.
But I think though, like you just said, Liam, I think kudos to you because it does get round it, and you've never took the 4 or 5 lantern list that a few people were taking. I know we even had Russ win an event, didn't he? And he said he's never doing it again. And fair play to him as well. So, but I think because it can get around the comp. I think that's the way you do it, and then obviously that's when your experience and your knowing how to play it makes it work, or advanced knowledge. Who knows?
Good question. Okay, we're going to finish off on a quick question, Dan. There's a fire in your house. Which shelf are you saving?
In my house right now.
Behind, yeah. Like, assuming the family around, which shelf are you saving there?
Which side?
Well,
all these as well.
Okay, well, you can choose one.
So these are all AOS.
Okay, we'll let those ones burn.
AOS Infinite in Middle Earth, but all my paint's on there. But I can buy paints. That's a really hard question, mate.
Liam's looking at his blurs.
I'm looking at my shelves. My shelves are really big. I get 4 really useful boxes on a shelf.
Okay, so you're coming out all right. Yeah.
So one of them's got
my counter question:
12 boxes on.
Shelf or shelving unit?
Just one shelf.
One shelf. Wow. Okay.
Liam's just saving his 3D printer so he can just print himself another.
Now, one of my shelves has got my full Walls of the Sea and my full Cathay on. So
okay. We'll let that one burn.
So
we'll start the fire on that shelf.
I've got 2 shelves that are fully painted, and I'd probably save this Walls of the Sea so this one here, because this one's got all of my conversion stuff and stuff that's all fully painted. The rest all needs painting, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a hard question, that, Jack. Actually, this would be the one room I'd like to save if my house is on fire.
Make sure that room's fireproofed.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I always said to everybody, everyone's like, oh, what room would you, what part of the thing would you be more disappointed if your house got robbed? Like this room? There's probably more value in here than there is the
house,
TV and everything downstairs, the PlayStation and stuff. But yeah, don't rob my house, please. What about yours? It's probably that one just with books on, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this my Warhammer shelf.
Trophies.
The few trophies are. This is a very minimalist shelf in here. It's mainly monsters and my commission painted dwarfs that I got done. So probably those they would have to get saved. The commission painted dwarfs, I think, which my friend did for me.
Also saving money as well.
Yeah. Although there's some quite rare models in here. I've got Toad Dragon down the bottom, and a Magma Dragon. We've got the big dinosaur, Dreadsaurian behind there. Marauder Giant, Bell, the Taurus from the Chaos Dwarves. On top of there, we've got a Fire Elemental, a Merworm. So there's some rare stuff on there, but
rare stuff. Rare. Actually, tell you what I did find the other day. I've got that here. Can you remember these things?
You Rhino. I thought you sold those.
Riders. Yeah. They were just randomly in a box that when I was tidying up. Like, oh.
I'll take them. I've only got 3 I need. You can gift those to me then.
I mean, I've got no use for them, so
gift them to me.
I think one's the Gutlord.
On the champ, the Lord. He's
that guy, isn't it?
Yeah. He's like the
Yeah, because then the other one's just like a normal fighter.
I can't remember what he's got a special
I think I called Gutlords. I can't remember. So yeah, I just randomly found one. I was like, actually, they're pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know what I'm using for. Interestingly, someone was selling a Chaos War Mammoth on one of the trade groups on WhatsApp, and I'm like really tempted by it.
Yeah, cool.
I have no idea what I'd reuse it as, but I'm
Chaos
so
Dragon. I think you'd have to use it as a Chaos Dragon, maybe.
Baggage train.
Baggage train. Very expensive baggage train. Very expensive.
You want the special features. Yeah, because I'm like, could I use it as a chariot? No, not really.
Too big. It's
not going to fit.
Although the Chaos Dragon's not on the same size base, isn't it, as a chariot? So
yeah, on the Chaos ones, yeah, which is really annoying. So another part of the commission I'm doing for Carl, the chariots that come in the battalion box, they've got the small chariot bases,
the
500s. So I'm like, I can't even message GW to say I've got these because they're not mine. I bought them ages ago, so I'm gonna have to order him some more bases for him as well, which is really annoying.
Right, we're starting to ramble. Shall we call it there?
Absolutely not. We've got 5 minutes. No, that's how we'll call it there. Yeah. So thanks for listening, everyone.
Subscribe, share, and engage in the comments. Please let us know what you'd like us to talk about, or discuss, or if there's anything you'd want to see. Is it Dan dancing topless in the background?
Nobody wants that.
But yeah, give us a nudge if there's something or if what you think we're doing, what we're doing is enough to placate you as you're painting or driving to work, then let us know and we'll carry on doing what we're doing.
Yeah. I will finish on one last thing. We have a very special guest next week, and that's all I'll say. So, next episode. So look out for that one. But yeah, Jack, Liam, thank you very much as always.
Good night.
Good night. See you soon.
Night.
Bye all.
Bye.